Bada boom, bada bing. Let me send a link and we'll get this special early broadcast going. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see here. Where is it? Here it is. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see here. Where is it? Let me lower this. If not, you'll be hearing it. Oh. I have to shut this off eventually. Let me just do this here. Copy the link. There we go. Jeez, that was crazy. All right, let's see here. Bada boom. Welcome to the Iacon Files. I'm just going to share the link and then we'll get going. Just our normal broadcast is Mondays, so this is just like a little small quick showing before Monday 8 p.m. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. Hear that now. All right, dude. All right, so I shared that off. Yeah, our normal show is Monday 8 p.m. I'm still trying to get that across every time I go live, just so everybody remembers. And you can go on YouTube, hit the bell, so you can always know when Michael Grajales wakes up in the morning, whenever Michael Grajales leaves the house. You know what I'm saying? And subscribe and support the channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're new. The Iacon File is fairly new, but I feel like I can bring a little bit of a different, opinion when it comes to different stuff that we're all talking about, and I always like to start the show by acknowledging some people that have helped me all the time. Let's start off with 3DS printing and collectibles where imagination takes place. Jonathan Schofield, he's my Scotty from the Enterprise. So, whenever I need something, he always gets it done. He always finds a way to get it done. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate that about him. He, let me just tag everybody here. I always like to make sure everybody gets the link, because sometimes people are like, oh, I didn't know you were on, or they're not getting it. So at least when I tag everyone, they know I'm on right now, So yeah, so Jonathan, he makes a lot of cool stuff, man. He made me oh, let me get this out of sorry. I always keep forgetting to do. There we go. Jonathan, you ain't gonna see this, so let me let me get this one out. Let me take this off and show you. So Jonathan makes me these little name tags. So in case you're new to the Iacon Files and you've never really followed me on Transformer Third Party Kingdom, I have these name tags for anyone who has generously given me a gift. Could be a robot, can be anything, and my way of kind of like saying thank you to them on a continuous basis is to have names created next to the item they gave me. And if you have ever given me something, then there's a good chance you have a name right next to it to know. So whenever, I'm planning to do a walkthrough of my collection, hopefully soon. My collection has changed a bit. It used to be a lot just Transformers. Now it's expanded a little bit more, and it's going to also expand a little bit more in the next month or two, which I'll share with you. I'm trying to think whether I should share it now or wait till I get some stuff and show you, okay, guys, this is the next thing that I want to collect and I'm going to add. I don't think it's going to be a huge collection, but it's going to be for me anyway, an awesome collection, and I can't wait to display it. I'm looking at my collection now, like, where am I going to put it? But anyway, yeah. So whenever I do the walkthrough of my collection, and you see these name tags next to an item, that's what it is. It's that person gave me that item, and that's just my way of saying thank you to them every time I get to go on. So yeah, so Jonathan Schofield made those tags. He's made me several things, and if there's anything you need, he's usually my number one guy. He's always seemed to get whatever I need done. So definitely do that. Also, Angela Gibson, put that aside here. There we go. Angela Gibson, crafty as a mug, craftyasamug.dashery.com. Guys, check her out. She has some awesome clothing, and not just clothing, but she's got stuff like mugs, and it goes vast. Like, there's a lot of stuff, and she does shirts for Transformers Third Party Kingdom, and she's also now doing stuff for the Iacon files, which I'm so proud to say. I'm very thankful for the things she's done. I think I got a few things I can show you. There's one shirt design, Voltron Force, and I got the activate interlocks, Dynatherm connected, intercells up, mega thrusters are a go. We got some more other designs here. This is kind of late too, so there's been updated designs, so definitely check that out. And like I said, they got mugs, they got hats, they got, just about stickers, I believe, buttons. They got everything. So, and don't forget to set your alarm for Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the Iacon Files normal live podcast goes on. Like I said before, you'll probably see me go on just to do short ones like this. But the main one is on Mondays. So today what I wanted to do is I give some props to my wife, because my wife is the one who kind of gave me this idea. And the idea was, it would be cool to take pictures of stuff that you think would be cool for Christmas. Maybe something that you want to buy for yourself. Maybe something that you want to buy for somebody you love, or a friend, whatever it is. But that's what the whole purpose of this video is. And I'll probably continue to do it depending where I go. On this day, I happened to be at Target. And while I was at Target, I took a few things, nothing crazy, just a few things to, do a quick live pod here, and also check my audio. I'm always checking my audio when I go live, hopefully it sounds good. I've been tweaking. I've been talking with the techs for Rode, the Rode business. I got the Rode pod mic, and trust me, I've talked to them so many times that I feel like I know how to do it now. Okay, so let's just get right into this. Kind of go through this real quick, just to give you some ideas that I guess a lot of it's kind of like things that I thought were cool, and I wanted to share with you guys to see if you guys think it's cool as well. So let's see. We got Rhymes with Duck, a ridiculous rhyming game. I saw this and I was like, it was hilarious. I just, man, I feel like it's been a while since I've been to the stores. And when I saw this, I was like, man, dude, what do they not think about when coming up with stuff to sell? Everybody loves the rubber duck, right? And this thing, I haven't played it yet, but by looking at it, it looked hilarious. It looked hilarious, and I was like, dude, I definitely got to take a picture of this. And it's called Rhymes with Duck, a ridiculous rhyming game. Let's see. I'm trying to read the box. Truck, pluck, muck. I get, okay. Duck, truck, pluck, duck, muck, duck. So I guess it's a game with things that rhymes with duck. So I saw that and I wanted to take a picture because, like, this is hilarious. I think somebody would love to give this to somebody or just have on their office desk or something, you know, table talk, right? Like, what the heck is this? So I thought that was cool. All right. Next item that I saw, Ticket to Ride, and so you're going to probably see a couple of games because I was in the game section. And Ticket to Ride was one of those games that I wanted to play. I've never got a chance to play it, but it definitely looked interesting. And I love trains and stuff like that. And it looks cool. Like these are like, I feel like these are like more high end games, not your typical Hungry Hippo games, but this is like your, more expensive games. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say maybe not really meant for kids because I mean, it's a game, right? But I feel like maybe an older audience, but I could be wrong. That's just my thoughts. But Ticket to Ride was a game that whenever I go down the aisle and I see it, I was like, man, that looks really cool. Like I would like to buy that one day and play it. So I thought that was a cool, and this is, like I said, all this is at Target. Everything I'm going to show you was my time at Target. All right. And I didn't take a picture of everything, but I took just a few pictures of stuff that I thought looked cool. So maybe Ticket to Ride will be a good gift for yourself or somebody. The next one, Hero Quest. Man, this was cool. When I saw this, I was bugged out because I had this a long time ago. I had this. I bought it at a yard sale flea market, the original one, which was a lot bigger box, and it was Hero Quest. And to be honest, I don't know if I really knew how to play it, but it was really cool for a game. It was different than your normal hippo, Hungry Hippo games. This was like a step above. And you had like the board, if I remember, the board was like the bottom of it, the bottom graphics were like different rooms. And each room you would decorate. You would come up with these plastic pieces, like kind of, pieces that you would place on top of the board. So at the end of the day, it was kind of like, 3D whatever looking game because everything came on top of it. And yeah, I guess you were different. Maybe it's similar to Dungeons and Dragons type thing, but Hero Quest, I don't remember. I know there's certain characters, maybe kind of like Gauntlet or something similar on that, where you pick like a wizard or maybe a barbarian. I don't know. I'm guessing at this point because it's been a long time since I played it, but I do remember it being really, really cool, and I definitely wanted to take a picture of this game to share it with you guys because like I said, I thought it was amazing. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe it's Hero Quest. They have it, so I thought that was bugged out. All right. I thought these would be a cool gift for Christmas. Who doesn't like video games, right? And these are like miniature arcade like, man, what's the word? I was going to say console, but cabinet, I guess maybe. Old vintage video game cabinets. Like you go to the arcade and see, so they had Pac-Man, Tetris. I thought it was cool. I guess the price down there is $19.89. Anybody, somebody can take this to the office. They can't bring a console, right? Unless you're the boss. But maybe something like this, you can put it right on top of their desk and maybe on break, just play a little bit, something to fool around, but it looks cool on display. So I thought these were pretty cool as a gift idea for somebody. Let's see what else. Game Boy. I saw this, like, man, again, Lego is huge, man. If obviously I don't even think I need to say anything. Legos is huge, and it will continue to be huge because I don't think anybody's gonna get sick and tired anytime soon of building Legos. Some of the stuff that I came across at Target was really, really cool. You know, I used to have a lot of Legos. Me and my brother, we used to collect Star Wars, and we had a huge collection of Star Wars. And even though I don't have Legos, man, there are days like this. I saw this, like, man, it would be cool just to buy it and put it together, you know? I mean, I can definitely appreciate the old stuff, especially me being an old timer, man. Like, I remember when that Game Boy came out, you know, it was the biggest thing, you know? I remember actually my brother bought me it, and he bought me it, and it had like this thing that you put to get like a screen that magnifies the screen size, and then it opens up and it had speakers. Dude, that thing was like, you know, that thing was like the Bose setup at the day. Really cool. All right. Look at this, man. Lego Polaroid one step, man. Who, I don't know if you've been able to use a Polaroid, but Polaroids were cool, man, and they still are cool. You need a picture right then and there. Boom, there you go. Snap it, and you'll see it in a few minutes. Totally cool. I saw this and I thought it was bugged out. It looks real, you know, it looks realistic. So I thought it was really bugged out. And I'm not sure the price. I'm gonna guess maybe a little under $100. You know, Legos are expensive, man. You know, I didn't quite get the tag there, but I want to say maybe $89.99. I could be wrong, but Legos are not cheap, guys, but they do look cool. Look at this one, man. Gizmo. I was gonna say Akiata, but that's Star Wars Ewoks. Gizmo, bright light, bright light. That looks bugged out, man. Look at that. Lego. You know, I would have a lot of fun putting this together. You know, I love Gremlins. I grew up watching it. You know, I've watched it so many times. The original movie obviously was the best. So man, brings you back to the past for sure. You know, got 3D glasses he's holding. Gizmo from Gremlins, I don't know, I want to say the 80s. You know, it could be 78, but I want to say it was probably in the 80s that movie came out. And I remember, man, it was bugged out, and I watched it many, many times. Many times. Gremlins, and there's Gizmo. I thought that was a great gift idea. Even if the person isn't into Legos, but they love the Gremlins, there you go. Hey, I know you like Gremlins, and I saw this and I thought of you. Boom. You know, some people just leave it in the box, and some people will just put it together and have fun, you know. Just don't add any water to him, and you're all set. All right. This I took a picture of because I love airplanes, aircrafts. And as you can see, the price there is not cheap, $200, okay, for the Concorde. But man, this seems like it would be a lot of fun to put together, especially for an aviation freak like myself. I love airplanes, man. I love both military aircraft or just traveling aircraft, whatever it is, man. I love it. You know, I love aircrafts. And the Concorde was definitely one of those airplanes that I think a lot of people love. You know, I was around, you know, I was alive when these things flew around, but I just don't remember seeing them in here. But this looks like it would be a nice gift. I can see the expression of that person, like, oh my God, this looks awesome. All right, next one is Back to the Future DeLorean. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep it at 88 miles per hour and you're all set, guys. I guess the price of this one is $109.99. Again, this is all at Target. I saw it and I didn't even know these things were out, you know, but I saw this. It looks like it would be a good size, and definitely thought it would be really nice to have as a Christmas gift for somebody, you know, somebody who loves cars, you know, somebody who loves movies, you know, or just somebody who loves Lego. So, I mean, it covers a variety of categories, so you're pretty safe when giving that to somebody. Moving on. Here we go. I saw this. I definitely got to take a picture of this, you know. I'm sure some of you have seen this, but if you haven't, there we go, guys. Transformers Bumblebee Lego. And man, for a Lego, I gotta say it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I wonder if you're able to transform him when you put together, or if you have to kind of like take it apart and build the car, take it apart, build a robot. I don't know, but it's definitely looking cool. I mean, it's different. It's definitely a different version of a Bumblebee that I've seen, you know. So, and I guess that's cool, you know. So you don't have all the same exact looking robot. This would be different. And the cool thing is, I think this would work in your collection. If you're collecting masterpiece and stuff, I still think, even though it's Lego, robots in general are still kind of boxy anyway, you know what I'm saying? So I think you'll be able to pull this off if you bought this for your collection or for somebody. So I saw that and I thought that was a good gift idea for somebody. And the next one would be Optimus Prime, dude. Oh my God, I saw this. I was like, dude, this is crazy awesome. You know what I'm saying? I thought this was amazing. Optimus Prime, I wonder, he must have the Matrix in his chest. I didn't check, but he's got to have the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Being Lego, maybe even lights up. Who knows? But this was a big box, a pretty decent sized box. It's got to be, I'm thinking it's got to be at least $100. I didn't quite get the price tag there, but he definitely looks awesome. You know, I would definitely have fun building him if I wanted to. You know, take your time, put some music in the background, and build this guy up, man. You know, he looks cool. I like him. Nice, cool gift idea. I wouldn't, you know, if I got this for Christmas, I'd be bugged out. I was like, yo, man, this is awesome. Hell yeah, dude. You know, I'll be living the dream. Oh, yeah. Soundwave. Definitely, dude. This guy, you know what I'm saying? Being a Lego, too, you know, Soundwave is kind of boxy, so it works, you know? This thing will work. It looks like it comes with Laserbeak, Ravage. I don't know if Rumble's in there, but, you know, talking about a Lego set that was made for you, you know, Soundwave cassettes being squares, you know, you're in the right business. So, yeah, I saw this. This was really cool. Probably out of the three, Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Soundwave was my favorite. He just looks bugged out. He looks bugged out, and it's cool that he brought at least two cassettes there. Really, I wonder if he opens and all that. I'm guessing. I'm gonna say yeah. I don't have him, but I'm gonna guess Lego made him that his chest will open up. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I saw that and I thought, you know what, this would be a cool gift idea. So I took a picture. I wanted to share it with you guys. This is all from Target. Like I said, depending where I go, I'm gonna try to take some pictures of stuff at different stores and categorize it. Hey, and more Christmas ideas, you know. So this is the first live of me just talking about gift ideas for Christmas that I thought you guys might like. All right, next. Sonic the Hedgehog, Hammer Egg Robot Sonic. If you're into Sonic the Hedgehog, I thought this was bugged out, you know. Sonic, man, brings me back to the 80s, man, of playing video games and stuff like that, you know. It looks like this one is $17.99 according to the tag down there. Yeah, definitely Sonic the Hedgehog. And I thought it would be a cool. My son loves Sonic, you know, he's into Sonic, so that could be a good gift for a child of yours or yourself if you're into Sonic. Who knows, right? The classic Simpsons. This was cool. This was cool. $32.99. I don't know if, I think that's a whole set, like the whole box, the car and the people. So $32.99, I guess, for that whole box. That's awesome. You know, who does not like The Simpsons? You know what I'm saying? If you don't like The Simpsons, dude, then you need, I don't know, man. I think you just need to be banned. No, but I've had lots of fun with Simpsons. Everybody has. I mean, I thought it was cool. Definitely one of those TV show things if you want to display, you know. You can really just leave it in the box. you see everything there, the car, the people, but if you want to put them all in the car or make a little scenery out of the Simpsons, there you go. I thought this was pretty cool. $32.99 at Target. All right. Monsterverse. Titans versus Titans Battle Pack. So definitely out there for you Godzilla fans. I've actually been thinking about Godzilla, I think because my brother mentioned it, and I'm like, I think he said it'd be cool to have a Godzilla in the collection somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I do love Godzilla. Dude, I've watched Godzilla so many times, as a kid. He was the thing to watch back in the day, and he's a huge, huge following for Godzilla. He is huge, popular, especially in Japan. So I saw this and I thought, you know what, let me take a picture of this because I'm sure there's some Godzilla fans out there. $19.99 at Target. Comes with a few Titans there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 5. I don't know. Here we go, 5 figures. Yeah, so 5. So, and then you got the minion cannon in the bottom. All right. Saw this fantastic car from the Fantastic Four movie. Did you guys like the movie? What's your thoughts on the movie? I love the movie. I didn't think I was gonna like the movie. I didn't think I was gonna like it because it kept bothering me that the Silver Surfer was a female. And it's not that I dislike females, but when I got into comics, I connected with certain superheroes. Silver Surfer was one of my favorite superheroes as a kid. Reading the comics, I had a whole bunch of them. I've drawn so many Silver Surfers, He was really cool, Norrin Rad, and it really surprises me. If you're going to come out with a movie, why not come out with the characters that are the most famous? Like the Norrin Rad version of Silver Surfer is super famous. How would you not put him in there? And how would you put a girl from the comments that I've seen has only came in like maybe a 4 or 5 comic episode series? So she's not really vaguely known compared to Norrin Rad. So I was really surprised about it. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it now, But I did watch it. I did like it. I'm not gonna say too much about it because if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it. But I guess the thing that helped me like it was that she didn't have a huge part. And because of that, I was able to like the movie. So Fantastic Four, found that there at Target. There you go. When I saw this, the first person that came to my mind was Christopher Horton. Because I know he loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm like, man, I got to take a picture of this for Chris. And I think it says $36.49 for the price. And it's a 1988 remastered 6-pack. So this was really cool because I was telling my wife who was with me there, like, man, this is so bugged out because these are the toys I had as a kid. These are exact replicas, probably remastered a little bit, but the overall look are the ones that I had as a kid. And it's so cool to see toys that you as a kid were playing with in the store shelf. So I definitely had to take a picture of this. This would be a cool, if you don't collect Ninja Turtles and you wanted to start, this is a good way to start a Ninja Turtles collection, definitely. So I definitely took a picture of that because I thought it was bugged out. I saw this and I'm like, dude, even though it's really kiddie, if I want to say like that, like made for like kids, it's definitely not a masterpiece, right? But even though it seems like it was made for younger kids, I still like it. I thought it was bugged out. I like the graphics. I did a good job on the graphics, and the colors definitely popped out at me. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't display it with my masterpiece, but I definitely would play with it. I thought it was cool enough. So Scorponok, Transformers Cyber World. Um, can't see the price, but I took it because I thought it was cool. I thought the colors popped out, and I thought the artwork was cool. And maybe for one of your kids, or if you're into this kind of toy line, it'll seem pretty cool. It'd be hilarious to have this guy right next to the uh, what is it, the Cybertron War or Titan War, whatever, Scorponok, Earthrise. Be hilarious. This, I'm sure a lot of you old guys remember these. Superpowers, superhero figures. This was huge in the 80s. Huge in the 80s. As a kid, I had the regulars, so Batman, Superman, Robin, Aquaman, the regulars, Wonder Woman, whatever. You had the regulars, but then there were some that were really hard to find. And if you flip them over in the back, they would always show you the other ones that you don't have. And back then, I always thought Shazam was really bugged out with the lightning bolt. I always wanted to get Shazam, and I can never find Shazam. And my cousin, who would come from New York, I would say, "Hey man, have you seen Shazam?" Because we would play with them as kids, and like, yeah, I've seen them. There's a toy store shop that has them. Like, oh, really? And it was bugged out. And man, the hours I spent playing with superpower action figures. These were a regular. Every day was a regular. And it's crazy, dude, because back then you had to use your imagination, man. You're talking about day after day after day playing with the same toys, but coming up with different ideas, different storylines. And maybe that's why a lot of us have good imaginations today, because that's what we needed growing up in those days, imagination, So yeah, I had a lot of these over the years. I would get more. Definitely a cool toy line. They brought some memories to me. So I thought, you know what, let me take a picture of that. So they're $24.99. Toys, man, they seem really expensive now. I don't know. When I was buying superhero action figures back in like 2003, 2004, maybe even a little later, I just feel like, man, they were cheaper, maybe like $7, $8, $9. And, maybe that's the inflation, I guess, but I guess me, like, man, I used to pay $9, $8, $10 for these things, and now they're $24.99. Back in the day, I could get like 2 of these for the price of 1, or maybe even 3. So, man, stuff has gotten crazy. So I saw that. Sonic the... Oh, this was cool. So it's DC crossover to Sonic the Hedgehog. So there you got Batman, and you got, I think that's supposed to be Shadow. Yep, Shadow. I thought that was bugged out. I thought that was bugged out. I was like, oh, that's different, because I remember them doing other crossovers, and I thought it was cool, man. I wanted to take a picture of that for sure. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see here. Let me just take a look at these questions. Bada boom. Chris, I'm reading Chris's message. He just saw the post that I did for him and Carrie of us honoring our founders. We definitely got to honor our founders of Transformers Third Party Kingdom, the work that they do, the admins, the moderators, and then just what everybody, all the members contribute to that group. Just totally amazing. I couldn't picture my life going forward without Transformers Third Party Kingdom, you know. So if you're not a member of Transformers Third Party Kingdom, check them out on Facebook. Transformers Third Party Kingdom T3PK, and join. You know, if you're into collecting, or maybe you're not into collecting, but you remember the toys and you want to, you know, dive into conversations with people that collect, then Transformers Third Party Kingdom is the way to go. Check them out. Answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, we don't add you. So you have to answer the questions. And yeah, man, Transformers Third Party Kingdom is the bomb. You know, if you guys are watching, there's any different Transformers Third Party Kingdom watching this right now, let's see some collections, guys. Come on. In the past, I've seen Gibbs do it a lot. And Christopher on his last live was talking about that, how, you know, people in their collection, we need to see your collection. Let me just, I want to make it as bold as possible. Transformers Third Party Kingdom wants to see your collection. Whether it's He-Man, My Little Pony, you know, G.I. Joe, the Care Bears. I don't care what it is, dude. If it's a collection, we want to see it. And not only that, we want to see how you display it, man. Displaying your collection is a way of art to me, you know, because for me, I take pride in just taking my time, trying to find the right pose for those figures. So when you see them at a distance, man, that looks nice, you know? So definitely go live, man. Go live in the kingdom. Let's see those collections. Let's see how you display them. Let's see what are some things that you're looking for. Some holy grails. What are those? What is that one item in your collection that you are so proud to have? And what is that one item that, you know, can't live without? Share it. Share it in the kingdom. Share it here in the Iacon files. I love to see, you know, people's collections. This was cool. I saw this and I had to take a picture of this, man. I've been hearing about this on Facebook because some people have been posting stuff about it. And when I saw it, I like, man, I got to take a picture of this. He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and the Transformers crossover. So this looks like it's Man-at-Arms, Bumblebee armor, Man-at-Arms. And this guy, he looks like a figure I used to have for He-Man. And I'm sure he's probably a lookalike of the Man-at-Arms, but there was also a figure, I can't remember his name, but he looked like he had like white pearly armor. And man, I can't remember what he did, but his whole body was like a white pearl armor, and then he had that thing like where you see Man-at-Arms right there that covers his front. He has something like that. But yeah, I thought this was bugged out, man. You know, I can see somebody opening this on Christmas, man. Really bugged out. Really bugged out. So I had that. And then I saw this Megatron Armor Skeletor from Mattel. Masters of the Universe Transformers. Yo, this is bugged out. The colors, everything about it looks awesome. You know, if you wanted to get into He-Man, but you just don't have the space, you only have Transformers, well, boom, here's a way of just kind of incorporating that a little bit into your collection with these two, Skeletor and that Bumblebee Man-at-Arms. And I'm sure there's more of these out there, but these are the ones that I saw at Target. So bada boom, bada bing. Let me change this up now. There we go. So yeah, guys, so this live, like I said, our normal schedule live is Mondays at 8 p.m. We're going to continue with the retro series. The last one was a lot of fun. This one is going to be even better. I'm going to be adding some sounds in the background of each game that I'm going to be talking about. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the sound clip, and I'm like, hey guys, do you remember this thing and whatever it is, and like, and then show you the picture, like, yo, this is what it is. So I thought that was pretty good. I'm working on that, so I still got some stuff to work on. We're gonna be diving into the Sega Genesis, a little bit of TurboGrafx 16, and we'll see what else after that if we got time for something else. But we're gonna be doing that on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hit the bell, like us, subscribe. All your support is welcome, man. We love the support we're getting. I appreciate it. We got a lot of guys out there doing their thing. The good, the bad, the awesome. James Goebel, an amazing human being. I've said it many times in my lives. He brings something different. We all bring something different. You know what I'm saying? We all do reviews, but we all do reviews differently, a little bit differently. We all have our own opinions. So it's cool. It's not, you're not going to hear the same thing over and over again. I feel like everybody has a difference of opinion, which is cool to listen to. What else? Billy the Kid reviews. Billy the Kid. We're so honored to be on the Forge. They hosted the Iacon files. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but you know what? We laughed a lot. And just like James, I think it was James that said, we don't edit this stuff. Whatever happens, man. I can lose power right now. I mean, a flying chicken can cross the screen. Who knows? We don't edit this. So it's live. It's live and it's uncut. You get what you get. All the technical difficulties, whatever. We deal with it as we go. So today was Christmas ideas from Target. These are just a few things that I saw from Target. If I go somewhere else, I'm going to try to take some pictures as well. And hey guys, I saw these at this store, and it's going to be bugged out, dude. Bugged out. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to Adam Burnham. So my birthday is next week, the 24th. And Adam was so awesome person that he is, was able to get me a Japanese version, Counter Punch. And I've been wanting to get Counter Punch for a long time. I just never have been able to get it. And he got me Counter Punch. So I was so happy, so thankful. So I consider it a birthday gift for myself from Adam. So I'm looking forward to that. And looking forward to like upgrading some equipment. I'm trying to do the best I can to keep up with everybody. I got a new set of headphones coming in. I actually got these not too long ago to try them out, but I'm not too crazy about them. They feel a bit cheap, and I got to be honest with everybody who's watching, right? So these are Logitechs, and I think they have, let's see, where is it? It's here. Yeah, there. Bada boom. Oh, they go down. Can't hear myself. I was taking it. But yeah, it has a mic that comes out. You know what I'm saying? But and you can retract it, so it's not always there in the way. Bada boom, bada bing. And it just felt a bit cheap for me, and I didn't want to. I want to feel good when I go live. I want to be able to feel good. I want to be able to, the stuff that I listen to sound good. And so hopefully tomorrow, hopefully by the next live I go, we'll see some updated headphones. The mic is awesome. I love the mic. The mic is really good. Just trying to figure out the audio. If you're not into audio, it can take some time. So I'm always kind of tweaking it a bit, so I get it to the point where I like it. So when this is over, I'm going to watch it and see how it sounds, and hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully it sounds like I'm hearing it here, because on here it sounds good. So we'll see. So yeah, that was this episode. Jingle bell, jingle bell. The Iacon Files opens on Christmas. So yeah, so I'll try to be doing more stuff like this as Christmas comes approaching closer, and we'll dive into more topics on Christmas. Maybe some ornaments. Me and my brother actually collect ornaments, so that's something that I think will be kind of cool to share too with the kingdom. And what else? I got a lot of stuff that a lot of stuff that I have planned. We'll do a Voltron special. Just waiting for that to kick in. A Voltron special. Have a lot. I'm still working on the material and a few more things that I'm waiting on coming in. And when they come in, then I can kind of like open up on that topic. So yeah, so we got some good shows coming up. Like I said, hit the bell, subscribe, follow, everything you have to do to know when the Iacon Files gets on. Our normal schedule program is Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But like I said before, sometimes you'll probably see me go on before that just to do something, on the side, but the main topic, the thing that we work on all week is for Monday. And so today was just, if you come in late and go back and see all the gift ideas that I found at Target, there's a lot of stuff that I think are worth buying, really cool ideas. So we'll see where I go next. It could be Walmart, could be Marshall's, who knows? I think there's some Toys R Us stores opening up again. I don't think they have any near me anyway. But wherever I go, and it might not just be toys, it might just be other stuff. Hey, I thought this was a cool gift idea, and I'll share that with you guys. So, we got a comment here. What's going on? Let's see. Epic Stride LLC. Yo, Michael, what's going on, Epic? God bless you, Epic. Welcome to the Iacon Files, brother. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, man. This was just me. Or like I said, our normal lives are Mondays at 8 p.m. But I had an idea to share when I went to Target. I took some pictures of some gift ideas that I thought was cool. Oh, Lawrence, what's up, Lawrence? All right. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody got different names on YouTube, so I have no idea who I'm talking to. Lawrence. All right, brother. Lawrence. Yo, Lawrence. Yeah, so if you came in late, this video was basically my day at Target. I went there for something, and I'm like, my wife gave me the idea of like, it'll be cool to do a live on gift ideas. So basically this video was gift ideas that I saw at Target that I thought was cool. And I wanted to share it with the followers, and hey man, maybe it's something that you like or would like to buy for somebody. So that's the live that was here today. And Monday, we're going to continue with the retro series. We're getting into the Sega Genesis, I believe TurboGrafx 16, and we'll see what else. Because last time I did the Atari 2600 and Nintendo, and that thing seemed like it went for a long time. So we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I got some audio clips to share, see if you guys can figure it out, So it's going to be pretty bugged out. What else? Jonathan Schofield is selling something. I was talking to him late last night. He was supposed to get me some pictures. Let me go back to the chat real quick to see if I can narrow down what he's selling, because I told him I'll share it on live, but he didn't send me the pictures. So let's see. Let me see. So he's supposed to send me some pictures of Megatrons. He's got some Megatrons he's selling. Let me see. He's looking for a DS9 Crasher for a reasonable price. If anybody has a Crasher, reach out to Jonathan Schofield. We're talking about GoBots. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Double check with trusted buyer. I also have the oversized MP8 Grimlock in USA comic colors. I kind of just want to trade him for the same figure in shattered glass. So he's got that. If somebody's interested, reach out for him for that. I have two MTRN08 Despetrons, mint in package. I need to unload. and this is Jonathan Schofield. So he's got that. So yeah, I wanted to share that because he was supposed to send some pictures, but oh sweet, I love me some gaming. Yeah, dude, check it out, Lawrence. Yo, you're gonna love it, dude. I was here, damn, dude. Like the last episode, I think it went over for like an hour and 20 minutes, dude. I didn't think it was gonna be that long, but it was like, dude, I had so much. If you haven't seen the video, go to the Icon Files on YouTube and look at it because I got it there on the Icon Files. And yo, it was a lot of fun, man. It was oh my god. You know what it is? Like I wanted to do it right, but in researching, I found a whole bunch of games I forgot about. And I'm like, oh my god, I remember this, I remember that, and man, I can see myself being like, who knows, 7, 8 years old playing these games. And the cover, because if you're into gaming back then, man, the cover really sold the game, because a lot of times you're playing and it looks nothing like the cover. But every now and then I would pause it and look at the cover to get inspired, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to beat this level. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me, So it was bugged out, man. Some of the stuff I discovered. And the same thing happened with the Genesis. When for Monday, it's going to be TurboGrafx 16, which is going to be a few games because I don't remember a lot of them that I was into. But, Sega Genesis, yeah, Sega Genesis I had, and I had a lot of games. And man, looking some material up on Google, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this game. And the cover, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes looking at these old Genesis games, the covers, man, they really bring you back to the past, And it's like I can close my eyes and I can see myself playing these games, man. And man, like I completely forgot about a lot of these games. I'm like, how can I forget about this game? I played it for days and days and days. So yo, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. And this time, the first time I did this, I just kind of showed clips and talked about it, like pictures. But this time, I made a playlist of the sound of the games, whether it be the intro or whatever. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm like, yo, do you remember this? I'm gonna play it and see if you. Yeah, I know that's this one. And then I'm gonna put the picture on and see if you guys are right. River Raid on Atari. My wife is so good at it. Sonic, yo, oh my god, dude! I got into Atari, dude. What was it? Atari Pitfall, Frogger. I laugh because even when I think it was Battle Tank, you're like a square. But the cover shows like an Abram tank, you know what I'm saying? So when you're playing that square, but you got like the cartridge right there next to your screen to motivate you. You know what I'm saying? That's me. It was hilarious. I think the Incredible Hulk, I didn't cover the Incredible Hulk, but they had the Incredible Hulk for Atari, dude. I had no idea. So the funny thing is, the Incredible Hulk for Atari, you started off like a skin color stick figure. And when you turn into the Hulk, it turned green. You know what I'm saying? And again, probably cover art was like beyond belief. You know what I'm saying? And every time you turn into the Hulk, you're like, yeah, that's me. And you're like a stick figure, but whatever. Man, I really appreciate it, man. Even though the games are like so, ridiculously like outdated, the covers, man, you can have a wall full of just Atari cartridge covers and you would stare at it for days. It's just the nostalgia is so cool, man. I love it. And the same thing with the Genesis. And I want to say that probably the same thing with Nintendo. They all had some good artwork. It really sold the game back then. I was talking to my brother how, like, man, back then we go to Toys R Us. And back then, Toys R Us, they displayed things differently. I remember going down the aisles and you would have like glass cabinets. And sometimes they would have a TV inside the cabinet with the Genesis hooked up. And at that time, because it was coming out, they would have Ultra Beast just on rerun, But man, you're like a kid at the candy store just looking at the glass, And and you just keep looking at it and like, oh my god. And then Toys R Us, instead of like say going to the shelf and grabbing the game like you do in GameStop now, they had like a little flap, and the flap would have white paper. It was like little paper, little square paper, and it would say the name of the game, the price, and it would, I believe, if memory serves me right, it would have a scanning bar in the bottom. Pulling slips at Toys R Us, and yeah, man, Lawrence remembers, yo. Lawrence remembers, yo. It was crazy, dude. It was a lot of fun, though. I guess it was cool because if there was one slip left, then there was one game left, you know? So yeah, back then, you took a lot of pride taking that slip paper out and bringing it to the cashier, you know? Just an awesome, awesome experience as a kid, man. And I had a lot of fun talking about it, you know, and we're gonna have a lot of fun talking about it come Monday as we dive into some more consoles. But at one point, me and my brother had I don't want to say every single game console, but we had a lot. We had a lot. We had the Atari. We might have had a couple of Ataris. We had Sega Saturn, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, Xbox, the original Xbox, Xbox 360, the newer ones, 3DO, the Panasonic 3DO. Yo, if you were alive when that was out in stores, when the first time I saw the Panasonic 3DO was either at Bradley's or Lechmere. And I say whichever came first. If Bradley's was first, then it was Bradley's. If Lechmere came first, then it was Lechmere, because the same store location changed the name. So that location was both Lechmere and Bradley's. I just don't remember which came first, Lechmere or Bradley's. But I remember going in, and the game they had was some kind of racing game for the 3DO. And I remember you're like kind of like in a cockpit type thing where you're like hugging the ground, and the gravel is like right there, like as you're driving, but it was like so close. And I remember like, oh my God, this thing is crazy. And then when I started looking up pictures on Google, I'm like, oh my God, this thing was, back then we were like, whoa, and then you look at it now, like, you can barely make it out. But yeah, man, and looking at prices, man, the 3DO, I think the 3DO was like $800. I'm like, dude, who the heck can afford $800 on a system? Oh my God, that is crazy. But it was one of those things when me and my brother were collecting that, now we're able to buy it a little cheaper. And I think the one I got with a whole bunch of games. And the 3DO games were different, man. Like when I get into it on the live, we're gonna see, man, it was different. It was definitely, above its time, I want to say, because I think it was the 3DO that kind of brought like games like Pitfall or Pit Fighter, and that was like kind of realistic for us at the time. You had a lot of games, like I think it was like Mad Dog McGee or something like that, where it's like you're like shooting the TV type thing. They had a lot of cool games, man. I was like pretty bugged out, So when I got to 3DO, I was like, man, I can't believe I have this, because it was like such an expensive system, So yeah, we got that. We got the Neo Geo, which was one of those games consoles that I always felt like I wanted, but it seemed like I was never able to get. Damn, dude, like it goes on and on, like I believe at KB Toy Store, I ended up buying my first Jaguar, the Atari Jaguar. And that was supposed to be a really amazing system. And I remember when you would turn it on, it would growl like a Jaguar. and it had like a little square. It wasn't even that big. It was maybe the size of an Energon cube of a Jaguar, but it looked realistic. It looked like, you know, a realistic Jaguar, but it would turn, and I think that's when it made the growl like, you know, something like that. And I was like, whoa, this is bugged out. But you know, the game itself it really felt a bit cheap. You know, like the control was huge. The control was like, here you got maybe like a Sega Genesis game controller was like this, you know, curved. The Jaguar was like really long because you have, I think it was like 2 to 3 buttons on top, if I remember. But then you would have a panel, a square panel, as it drops with a whole bunch of different stuff. I mean, it was like, damn, what the hell is this? But yeah, at that time, many years ago, KB Toy Store had them for like $20. Brand new Jaguar systems, $20. And I'm like, dude, that's a no-brainer. Jaguar's coming home with us tonight. You know, and I think the game that it came with was Tempest. I think Tempest 2000 or something like that. Which was like 3D, you know, I guess. You know, you had like a triangle ship, 3D, you know, it made you feel like the future, I guess. You know, well, look at this, it's a 3D, barely any design on it, but it was 3D. Like, you know, it's never going to get any better than this. How many times when a game would come out, or maybe a new system, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's take, for example, the Sega Genesis, right? Because you had different people. You had people who only bought Sega and people who bought Nintendo, right? You know, it was kind of like a rivalry. So if you had the Sega Genesis and then the Sega Saturn came out, you were like, yo, we're in the future. You know, how are they going to beat this? There's no way they're going to beat this. You know what I'm saying? The same thing happened to me when me and my brother bought our first PlayStation, the original PlayStation. And I think the game that we got for it was Resident Evil. Yo, man, talking about like not sleeping for days. And I don't know why we do this, but whenever we play a game that scares the crap out of us, we're playing it with the doors closed, with the lights off. You know what I'm saying? Like freaking ourselves even more. Like, why the heck? You know what I'm saying? But I remember, dude, like that thing freaked the crap out of us. Like, yo, what is going on? It was like, I remember the part where you will open a door, maybe going into a building, and then all of a sudden you see the werewolf running in the background. Like, you know, I'm like, holy crap, what the hell is that? You know? And then you walk in and all the doors. It was smart because the way they did the loading screen, instead of saying like loading, it was like the door. And whenever the loading would complete, the door would open. You know, it was kind of cool. It gave you something to look at while you're waiting for the load. And maybe that's why it made it seem like it load faster. But going into the house, dude, it looks so realistic. And it's crazy now because if you play it now, it's like ridiculous, you know. But back then, that was it. You know, that was the thing to play, dude. And the zombies coming up to you. Resident Evil was like the type of game that you had to solve. Sometimes each room had a puzzle and you had to solve it. I mean, yo, that was like one of those moments in life that, like, whoa, you know, you reach the next level. Resident Evil, damn, dude, that was crazy. So yeah, PlayStation, man, PlayStation 1. And a game that my brother loved to play a lot was called Intelligent Cube. Intelligent Cube. If you never played Intelligent Cube, look it up. And you know what? It's an expensive game. Like right now, if you wanted to buy Intelligent Cube, man, I want to say you're probably gonna spend. I haven't seen it recently, but I want to say they're like over $100. If you can get it cheaper than that, then buy it. But Intelligent Cube was bugged out, dude. It was like, so you're like a little guy, and you would run on a platform like made of blocks, and I guess you had to solve the block situation. I can't quite remember. And you progress, but every time you had a perfect one, it was like perfect. perfect, and the sound of you doing stuff, but then perfect, it was it was one of those games that was bugged out. So yeah, that was so cool, man. A lot of, I mean, each generation had amazing games. You know, when PlayStation came out, they had some great games. I'll try to touch on them when we get to it. TurboGrafx 16. I remember TurboGrafx, and when TurboGrafx 16 came out, I was like, dang, dude, like, am I going to get the TurboGrafx 16 or am I going to get the Genesis? It was like those two rivalries for me. And I think for the TurboGrafx 16, because their games look like little cards. Instead of the disc, it was just like a card, a flat card. And you would kind of put it in. I think at the time that kind of bugged me out. Like, oh, that's different. It's different. And so we ended up with the Genesis. My dad bought me the Genesis for that Christmas, and I remember because I was having so much fun that Christmas, I completely forgot there was another gift for me to open. And my dad reminded me, "You going to bed? Like, ain't you forgetting something? Like, what am I forgetting?" And he took out the Genesis, dude. I don't remember if it was wrapped or if or unwrapped, but I remember, like, damn, dude, think about it, guys. Like, think about it. An original Sega Genesis from the 80s in the original box, brand new, all that shiny cardboard decal things they put on it, it makes you look shiny, and holding it as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, holding that box in your hand. And for me, it was probably like the Sega Genesis picture in the front cover. I believe you flipped the box over and it had little tiny squares of video game pictures of each game. Oh man, it was so cool. What a night that was, dude. I stayed up all night playing that. Oh man, that was such a bugged out game. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I started researching for these retro series that I'm doing, I came across games that I completely forgot about. I'm like, oh my God, I remember this. How can I forget about this? And the cover, everything, man. I was like, yo, this is so bugged out. So we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time come Monday. If you can make it, dude. It's going to be great. I'm trying to make it more fun. And I think it's, like I said, adding the sound bits as I play. I'm probably just going to put it to the mic. You guys know this one. And then, okay, let's see what it is, And so I'm going to try to do that. And I think it's going to be bugged out due to kind of experience. I wonder if some of the stuff I'm going to bring up, you guys even remember. Because I'm going way back, guys. I'm not going to the end of Sega Genesis because it's the retro series, and I'm sure every single Genesis game is retro now, but I'm going to like the beginning, or maybe like just some games that I thought are people would know about, but a lot of them you might not even remember. So, and that's what happened to me. Like, whoa, I can't believe this, So, yeah, definitely bugged out. Really cool. I was really happy with that. So, all right. So, thank you guys. Thank you for joining the Iacon Files. Just a quick reminder, like I said last time, we're going to be doing an extension, I guess, on our podcast. So we got the Iacon Files, Transformer collection stuff, all that stuff. But I'm going to also do a podcast for Bible stuff. We're going to get into the Bible and read stuff in the Bible. So when you go to our playlist, look for Seeds of Faith, and that's what me and my wife are going to call it, Seeds of Faith. So anything Bible-wise would be under the category Seeds of Faith. It's still going to say Iacon Files, like my name, but look on the playlist and it'll say Seeds of Faith, and anything Bible will be in there. If you're into that, if you want to learn more about the Bible, the Word, our experiences, our testimony, all that kind of stuff, whatever, all the shebang, look under Seeds of Faith. That's what I'm going to title that playlist, and you'll see everything there. I haven't quite figured out what day of the week it's going to be, but we'll be going live for just that. We're going to go live for Iacon Files, collection, Transformer toy stuff, but then it's a separate podcast broadcast live for Bible stuff, Seeds of Faith, because, I love God and I want to be able to express God in everything that I do. So that's a way of, I think, doing it. So, if you do want to hear stuff about it, then boom, go to that. So, all right, guys, we're gonna end it here. It's 6:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't forget Monday, 8 p.m. We're gonna continue with the games, and we'll go from there. So I'll end it in a prayer here. Lord, I thank you for the guest that we had today. Lawrence was here interacting with me. Anybody who comes in now, later, watching the reruns, I pray that you bless them, Father. Maybe whatever they're going through, they're having a difficult time. Maybe they're going through some kind of stress. Maybe they have a problem that they don't have the answers to, but that's okay, because when we come to the cross and we leave our burdens there, you take control. You have the answers to everything, Father. You're the creator of the heaven and the earth. You hold the universe in your hands. And we pray in the name of Jesus, Father, the name above all names, that whoever needs you, maybe even if they don't know it, that you're able to connect with them some way that grabs their attention, and that you can because you know what I'm saying? The Bible says your sheep know you by voice and you know them by name. You know what I'm saying? So we, being the sheep, we know his voice, and Jesus is always there with his arms open, guys. He's always there with his arms open. As many times as I failed, he's always there. There's been times where, a quick testimony that I'll share with you guys. There was a time where I was trying to change my life, and I just felt like, I'm screwing up so bad. I'm doing everything wrong. Why would he even waste his time with me? You know what I'm saying? And it was tough because, I was trying to better my life, but my family would always say, oh, you're not going to change. You're not going to change. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard when you don't get support. You have this desire, which is God calling you to do something, but yet people so close to you don't support you. They're like, yo, why are you even trying? You're not going to do anything. You're not going to change. You're just going to be the same. So that's tough. That's tough. And you got to kind of be able to overcome that to get to where God wants you to be. And that's kind of what happened with me, and I just kept going. But there came a time where, what, God, are you happy with me? Do you love me? Are you proud of me? And again, I'm speaking because I know I sin. We sin all the time. We don't want to, but I guess that's part of us of being human, that we fall into temptations a lot. And when that happens, we have to really increase in spirit and let the flesh die. Because when temptations are controlling your life, that means you're feeding the flesh and you're not feeding the spirit enough. And so, what do you mean, like feeding the flesh and feeding the spirit? What are you talking about? Well, feeding the flesh is basically anything that God don't want you to do, you're doing it. Whether it's drinking, whether, abusing yourself, abusing things that disconnect you from God. You know what I'm saying? Pornography is huge, especially for us guys. Pornography is huge. When you start doing that, that's what I'm talking about. You're feeding the flesh, because the flesh is seeking that stuff. The flesh wants to disconnect you from God. So whenever you're like drawn to that stuff, that's because the flesh is trying to overcome. So what do you do to stop that cycle? Well, what you do, put on the word, put on some Bible verses, audio, listen to worship music, get on your knees. It might seem ridiculous, and there was a time where I'm like, damn, dude, you know what? Like, is this stuff even real? Is this stuff even real? And I'm going to share that when we get into Seeds of Faith, that extension, because a lot of us growing up, if you're like me, a Spanish family, going to a Pentecostal church, churches that are filled with the Holy Spirit, you got people talking in tongue, you got people dancing around, and as a kid, you're like, damn, what the heck is this? What is going on? You don't know because you're just a kid, you don't know what the heck is going on, and the grown-ups can tell you, yeah, they're speaking in tongue. You're like, well, so what is that? Even in my, I think, late 20s, early 30s, I was trying to discover God in a way to connect with him more. And I've been to so many churches, and some churches like, have you ever received the Holy Spirit? No, no. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Like, I would always think of it so hard, like, make it too impossible, and some people like, yeah, you gotta dance around, I'm like, dude, I have a lot of testimony to share, so I don't want to spoil everything, but I would say, yeah, you can't feed the flesh, feed the spirit. And yeah, I'm not expecting you to do like an hour, 2 hours a day. Start small, 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes, sit down, pray. Well, but what do I pray about? Anything, dude. You can pray the same way you hear me talking to you is the same way you talk to God. Some people like, what's the right way to pray to God? Dear God, it's me, Michael, dude, just speak from your heart, dude. Just speak from your heart. Don't make it so complicated. You know what I'm saying? We make it so complicated to the point where we're afraid to pray. God knows your heart. You know what I'm saying? And whenever whenever you're down, the word lifts you up. It really does. Man, I got so much to tell you guys, and I don't want to do it here, because I want to keep it in the seeds of faith, but definitely 5 minutes a day, guys. Start with 5 minutes. After a few weeks, if you're able to do 5 minutes a day, which is 5 minutes listening to worship music, 5 minutes reading the Bible, or 5 minutes just praying, whatever, but it's 5 minutes, right? Maybe after a couple of weeks, bring it up to 10 minutes, start small. You don't want, man, I gotta do 5 hours. Start small. Start small. And you can do it anywhere, guys. God is everywhere. You don't have to just do it in your prayer room. You don't have to just do it in church. You can do it while you're taking a shower. You can do it while you're driving to work. God is everywhere. God hears you everywhere you go. For me, when I'm at work, I put some earbuds and I listen to the word. I usually listen to Charles Stanley on YouTube. I type in Charles Stanley, maybe Tony Evans, stuff like that. And I just listen to the word as I'm working and I hear the word. And that's a way that you get to, maybe you don't have a lot of time to sit down, but you got earbuds that you can put in the word. Boom, do that. Type in Charles Stanley, Tony Evans. Those are my two favorites. Just start listening. Don't even take notes. Just listen. That's it. Another thing you can do is just the audio Bible, in the beginning, they got YouTube channels where you go hours, just the Bible in the beginning. They divide it by books. If you want the book of Psalms, the book of John, whatever, you can do that. Or like I said, just worship music, it does change your life. For example, a few weeks ago, I was having a bad day, man. Like so when I'm supposed to play with the worship team, I got to go to church on Thursdays to rehearse. And I was so tired, like I didn't have a lot of time to practice. Like, man, I feel down. Like I feel tired. Like, I don't feel like I want to go. When I went, God lifted me up, dude. Like everybody came together. Everybody came together. I had the most amazing time of my life. That night, worshiping with my friends, playing. I just felt so connected. I felt like we were like, I don't know, like playing at some, huge arena, but I felt my worries went away. I was hyped. I was excited. I was full of energy. I was positive. And what makes it more positive is that you're surrounded by people that shared what you're going through, because you're not the only one going through some tough times. Sometimes we go and like somebody else is having a tough time, and it makes it more real, that's true, so we all come together to pray and, we do our songs and, it's an amazing experience. So guys, I know I said a lot, but so check that out. I'm going to try to get it soon. Under Iacon Files playlists, look for Seeds of Faith, and anything biblical will be there, and if you happen to join our live Seeds of Faith podcast and you want prayer, all that stuff, and you can, if you want prayer here when I'm doing Transformers, be by all means, but I'm just trying to categorize it as well, so we got like separate things directly to that. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's my way of, bringing God's word to everybody. We got what I did was I got these little Bibles I was inspired by somebody in my group. So we have a group every Tuesday. It's called John the Chosen, and it's a bunch of us church members that come together, and we all share each other's difficulties, but we also lift each other up. And we talk about the Bible, we talk about life experiences, and one of the members ended up getting Bibles to distribute to people because she distributed to a few people, and that person came back, hey, do you have more Bibles? I know people who want them. So there was a site, I don't know if it's here, let me see, plus nothing. So if you type in plus nothing on Google, it should direct you. There you go. Visit plusnothing.com. Plusnothing.com. And they give you free Bibles. So I was inspired, and I'm like, you know what? I got a box of 120 Spanish Bibles and a box of 120 English. And I don't think it's the entire Bible. I think it's maybe the New Testament. I don't think it has the Old Testament. I'll tell you right now. I know it's not all of it. See, in the beginning was man. So this has in the beginning. It might just be just divided differently. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't say the book names on top. So it's just a little small Bible. I guess trying to put all the good things in there that somebody might need right there. Index. Let's see right here real quick. The index. So John, the beginning, John. So we got John, Luke, Matthew, John, Matthew. So I think these are all New Testament stuff. Mark, Matthew, Mark, John, Matthew, Mark. It might just be focused on those few chapters. Because if you read the book of John and stuff, John covers a lot of the Old Testament too. There's like in the beginning, Genesis in the beginning, right? But then just like if you read the book of John, he also says there's parts in the beginning. So they talk about, you know, so like I said, I got 2 boxes. And what I want to do is, because whenever I see people out in the street, if I can give them something, I give them something. I don't like to judge people. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they're going to use it for drugs but you know what? That's not the point. The point is, if you're able to give to somebody, you give them because of what you have inside. There's something inside you that's calling to help somebody, you know, and whether it's a few dollars, whatever you have, right? You give it to them with the intention that they're going to use it to better themselves, right? If they use that money for something else, that's on them. But you're planting the seed. You're giving them something with good intentions, and that's what God sees. God sees why you gave it. God is not going to see why that person used it for this, you know. No, he sees that you're trying to help that person, and that's the whole point. And a lot of times maybe they will use it for that, you know. They will use it for something to eat or something like that, you know. So that's the whole point, you know. We can't judge people just because they're on the street that they're going to use it for the wrong thing, you know. And this is my way. So I think what I'm going to do is like maybe put a few dollars in here, turn it to the first page. That says, I faced the same question a few years back. And it pretty much just says, friend, why is this book in your hands? Curiosity, a fluke, a fate? I faced the same question a few years back. Maybe your life is great. Perhaps you're worn out from the day-to-day struggles of life. Or maybe you feel like I did, lost, broken, and searching endlessly for peace. No matter your situation in life or how you feel, the contents of this little book will bring light and clarity in your journey. Now it's up to you. Read this book or don't. No matter your decision, the ripples effects will reach every aspect of your life for generations to come. Be sure to know this book is all about one of the most controversial and consequential figures of all time, Jesus of Nazareth. You no doubt have your own views of Jesus. I sure had my few views of him. That includes years of assumptions, hearsay, and opinions. Frankly, though, I was just too busy in my life and didn't have the time or desire to find out who he really was. Was he a prophet, a rebel, a liar, a miracle worker? Today, many people have reduced him to a curse word, a lucky charm to be dangled from a gold chain or a tattoo. In reading this book, I discovered the real Jesus for myself. In doing so, I unexpectedly stepped out of the darkest days of my journey and found exactly what I've been searching for: peace, purpose. I want the same for you. Turn the page and find out why this book fell into your hands. You have you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Fellow traveler. So I guess, so I would probably put a few dollars there or whatever, 5, 10, whatever I would compel that day, but I would put it there. So when they open it, they read that, and that's all you need to do. That's all you need to worry about. You planted the seed. That's all you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about what happens to that seed 3 months from now. Where is that seed? No, God will take over from there. Your job is to plant the seed. And for me, doing this, handing out Bibles and a few bucks, and maybe me and my wife will do a little bit of a care package, right? But you're planting the seed. That's the most important thing, because nothing grows without planting a seed, and just by doing that, you might change that person's life, and that's all that matters. So, all right. A lot of that I'm probably going to say on the seeds for faith. All right, guys. So let's end that. Don't forget, Monday, 8 p.m. We're going to continue with the games, and I'm going to end this now. Thank you for checking me out. Thank you for those who are staying here and listening. I care about you guys. Anytime you need prayer, look me up. Let me know at any time. I'd be happy to pray for you. And, keep seeing those collections. I'm going to try to show you my collection maybe in the next couple of weeks. I got to get my lighting fixed on the display. But my collection has changed a lot, but it's also grown in different ways. So I'm looking forward to showing you what I got. Everybody has their way of expressing themselves. And when you see my collection, it's going to be a reflection of myself. So, all right, that being said, the Iacon Files will close the door today, but reopen it on Monday. So, guys, stay safe. Have a peaceful one. God loves you. The Iacon Files loves you. I love you. I care about everybody who comes here, because you can be doing something. You could be doing anything right now, but you chose to be here listening to me, Mike, here in the Iacon Files. You could be watching TV. You can watch your favorite TV show. You can be playing games. You could be going out to eat, whatever it is. But you chose to be here at this moment. Maybe there's something that's drawing you to listen to me. Who knows? But you're here, and I thank you for that. I don't take that for granted, because, time, you can't take back time. Once you give it, it's gone. So I thank you for being here. And I look forward to see you on Monday as we continue. So God bless, guys, and stay safe and peace out. Bada boom, bada bing.